quality good men can't resist women with these 5 habits. In this video, you will discover what you want to do and what you preferably should not do before you attract the right man for you, right? And we're really talking about what really quality men are looking for. So you really avoid attracting emotionally unavailable men, men who can't make a decision, mama boys, Peter Pans, and so on. Hey, I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man method. And look, this is the channel where we magnetize your man so that the man you want, desires, and pursues you forever. Now, of course, like, share, comment, subscribe for more juicy videos coming your way, and give us, of course, a comment below as well what you like the most about this content and this video. And of course, hey, listen until the very end, because you never know. This may be the very thing that you need to know to attract the right man for you. So let's go ahead. And first of all, before I go into what quality men are looking for, I'm going to be going to what quality men are not looking for. Okay, what thing is that quality good men are usually in their king. So what they're not looking for is a people pleaser, right? Like somebody who's totally out of alignment with their inner queen and constantly gives her power away. One man said it best: I will treat you like a queen, but you have to know that you are one. So quality good men are not interested in convincing you that you are worthy, right? In convincing you that you are a priority, in convincing you that you are the prize, but rather they want you to simply accept it and receive it when they give that to you. Quality good men are also not responding to short-term manipulation. Now, you see, quality good men are not just connected to their wild man, their primitive side. Of course they are, but they're also connected to their heart, and they're also connected to their spirit. So when you manipulate and you want to do a sort of like a lot of coaches teach on a sort of animalistic primal level that teases their survival, you know what I mean, response, they will not respond to that because they're also like located, like I said before, living in their human self, in their spirit self, and of course in their heart as well, right? So they're like, you know what, I don't know, something doesn't feel in alignment, something doesn't feel right, like something feels like a little manipulative. Also, quality good men, they will not take on responsibility for mistakes of your exes, right? So they will not carry that baggage and that burden, but they rather will invite you to carry that yourself. Now, they will do that in a compassionate and loving way, but nevertheless, they will not apologize for themselves for the mistakes that your exes have made. So if you have trust issues, right, they will not spend forever that like they get your trust over and over again. Will they be aware that you have trust issues? Sure. And will they not necessarily drawing an out of you? Yes, of course. But will they walk on eggshells? No, they won't, right? Because they know who they are and they will, whatever it takes to stay in their power, because it's important for them to trust themselves. So having said that, now let's dive into what are those incredible habits that those quality good men are looking for. Number 5 is ownership. Now, great example here. When I started dating my husband, Brody, you know, I wanted to manipulate him. Remember, quality good men hate that. Now, the reason why I was like, you know, I got to really say something about that is because in order to be in what I call queen-tegrity, you have to, what you think, what you say, and what you do has to be in alignment. So I thought, oh, crap. Because so now that I thought that I wanted to manipulate him, I kind of have to tell him. And I don't know how that's going to go, but I have to do that, right? And so I did. So I called myself out. I owned, you know, that I had this thought to manipulate him. And I said, you know, look, hey, you know, part of me wanted to manipulate you. And then my husband said, oh, really? Like, tell me more about that. Like, how did that part want to do that? So what it took me is overcoming that part inside of myself that was terrified. It was really thinking, I'm going to get rejected. My husband is never going to trust me again. He thinks I'm playing games. I'm capable to manipulate him. and so on. But nothing could be further from the truth. It actually brought us closer together and increased our intimacy, particularly our emotional intimacy, tremendously. Number 4 attitude is what's so great about this attitude. Now, you see, things are happening in life, right? Men are making mistakes, you're making mistakes, and there's different responses. So it's not about, life is not about what happens in life, but the response that you have to what happens in life, right? So maybe you're looking for a home and it doesn't work out. Can you stay positive? Can you stay optimistic? Maybe you guys want to get pregnant and it's taking a minute or two, right? Can you stay optimistic? Can you stay hopeful, right? Like maybe, the job that you applied to or the promotion you were hoping for didn't work out. Whatever it is, maybe somebody just took a wrong exit, you know what I mean? Maybe you're going to be late to a meeting. How are you going to encounter that? Now, what men really love is the what's so great about this attitude. To really women that say, you know what? Yeah, it's maybe not the most ideal thing that we now got lost because you took the wrong exit and we're in a different state that we flew to and we're like totally foreigners and strangers, maybe can't even speak the language. But hey, what's so great about this? Let's enjoy the sunset together. You know what I mean? Let's enjoy being in the unknown together. And when you do that, a man feels free to make mistakes. A man feels free to be himself, right? A man feels free to not be judged and take more risks with you. Number 3 is observe without absorbing. Now, this actually comes from one of my clients, and I love this term so much, so I wanted to dive deeper into it. So observe really means, I can be in a place and I can observe what the other person is doing without losing myself, right? So I can stay in power in the presence of another powerful person versus forgetting what I really wanted to do, forgetting my goals, forgetting what I wanted to say. And you know what? When I was dating this guy, I literally sounded like a second grader. I didn't know, I couldn't put sentences together. I was totally losing myself every time when he was in my presence, right? And like I didn't feel safe. I felt very insecure, inadequate. And then of course I froze. Like I went into like the freeze response, right? And so what men are really looking for is women who are able to observe, who are also to take the observer perspective, right? And be like, you know what? Like, let's actually take a step back. Let's not own all of that, but actually see what's really so, right? And what can we do about it without absorbing it, without over-identifying, like without getting too angry, rushing out of the house, going into fight or flight, punishing your man by, running away or withdrawal, but rather being able to observe that part wants to do that, but you're not going to do it. Which leads me to number 2, which is trust. And what I really mean by that, right, those habits is actually the trust triage. Now, there is, of course, the trust to others. Of course, that's what we think about trust, right? I trust this person. I don't trust this person. This person is trustworthy. So certainly they look for that. But they really look for, like, does the woman trust herself, right? Does she trust herself? Does she always lean against him? Is she in integrity? Does she break words with herself, right? Does she respect herself? Because that pulls him into wanting to be a better version. Now, this is one of the most common said things of grooms at a wedding is, right, you make me a better man. And what that really means is she trusts herself. She's like, no, you know what? My intuition's telling me, let's go this direction. Let's do that. And I know it's not tangible. I just know it's the right thing. I trust my nose. I trust myself. And I trust God, right? Because you will encounter moments where things are not exactly explainable, where you need God, where it's not humanly possible to reach the goal that you're looking for. But with God, like all things are possible, right? So is this woman connected to God? What kind of relationship does she have to God? Does she trust God? Or is she constantly in anxiety? Does she constantly doubt herself, question herself, and so on? And number 1, she leaves on a high note. Now, this is really interesting. Quality good men, they really pay attention if you are the last one leaving the party and kind of waiting to see what else is going on? Or are you actually realizing, wait a minute, I don't need the drink. I am the drink, right? Like, I don't need to seek the cocktail from the party. I am the cocktail. I am the party, right? The party doesn't start without me, because on that place, they actually leave on a high note, right? They say, you know what? Time for me to go home. And the reason why quality good men love this so much is, for one, when you leave on a high note, they kind of know unconsciously that you can hold sort of this tension inside of yourself, and that you don't need to like get to all the levels of certainty, right? But also they know that you don't have this fear to miss out. You're like, they wonder, what else does she have going on? Like, why is she already leaving? What's happening? But also, when you leave on a high note, remember the idea of cliffhanger, right? Like, you really cause sort of that state change in a man, and he wants more, because that part in our brain that wants to predict, that wants to close the loop and can't, will continue to pursue you. But lastly, this is so important. That's what I teach my women all the time, is when you leave on a high note, right? You actually able to come back home, journal, take a bath, call a girlfriend, take care of yourself, so that next time when you show up, you really come from this queen place again. And also, when you leave on a high note, you really have something to go back to, right? If you leave so late, then the man has sort of this feeling like that he is really sort of the source of your happiness. He's the source of your fulfillment. But if you leave early, he's like, wow, what else does she have going on? Her life must be amazing, or, you know, her energy must be amazing, that she wants to be with herself or with her friends or with her life so much. Now, before I go into my bonus secret, my question for you is, what are you looking for in a quality man, right? What is like a habit for you that you tremendously value in a quality man? So for those of you who stayed until the very end, the bonus is, it's just the usual. Now, this actually comes from my husband. My husband is naturally more securely attached than I was. So I asked him one day, by the way, good idea to interview a person who's much more securely attached than you are. What's going on? How are you thinking about things? So I told him, I said, you know, how come that you always end up on the bright side of life, right? Like, you just end up getting that last slice of pizza, or he always wins everything. When there's a raffle, guys, you know, don't buy the tickets, because my husband's going to win anyways. He won actually twice, you know what I mean, in the same raffle. And I said, you know, how do you do that? Like, what's your mindset? And he said, well, that's very simple. It's not extraordinary. It's just the ordinary. It's just the usual, right? Like, you know, like I meet great women, right? Like, it's just the usual, right? That's what he taught his men when he was coaching men. But it's just the usual. So how would your life be like if you said, you know, it's just the usual? You know, I met this incredible guy. It's just the usual. There's way more of that out there. Oh, I just won in a raffle. Oh, it's just the usual, right? Not like, oh my gosh, today's my lucky day. It's so extraordinary. Once in a lifetime opportunity. No, like a secure man doesn't think like that. And he doesn't expect his woman to think like that either. But she's just like, it's just normal. Of course you're attracted to me. Of course you want to go on a second date with me. Of course you want to get married to me, right? Like, I just have to think about if this is the right match for me. Now, something very different, if you'd like to discover how we became multiple six-figure love coaches and how you can as well, click on the link in the description or comments below, or simply hop on over to icoachlove.com. And if you haven't done so already, watch next. When a man deeply loves you, he will start saying these 5 things. Lots of love to you, ladies, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.